Hey, I was hanging out on Zapier's community forum where people just request for help on very specific cases, and someone was asking about separating comma separated string into different separate usable fields in Zapier. So let's see how to do this in the most reliable way, which is going to be using code Python step with Zapier, which will cost you one task. So if you can use the formatter or if the fields are directly coming perfectly through the trigger, it's definitely a better way. But sometimes you're just stuck and you have to make it work, even if your flow will consume one more task in your subscription. Let's see how to do this. Here we're going to assume that you can't use the formatter by Zapier. If you're here, if you found this video, that's probably your case. You probably for some reason can't use the simple ways to separate the string. Sometimes it's because the formatter doesn't interpret it correctly and still returns you one big field with all of your data. And sometimes, for instance, it could be because among your comma separated values, some values contain a comma themselves. For instance, here with the test load that I prepared, we can see here a lead information, and among the lead information, we see the job title of the person. And it could be, it's the kind of fields where people like to just put a comma because they might have multiple denominations for it. So if we process it through the formatter to split the text, we would have here the job title separated into two output items, which we don't want. So that might also be a reason why the formatter is not useful in your case. So let's see how to split this string using Python and code by Zapier. All right. I'll just map again the answer data. Great. Okay, so you're just going to input the unique field that contains all of your data, comma separated data. You'll give it whatever name. Right now it's answer data. And then we're going to help Python separate all the fields. So when we input data, whatever kind of data in Python by Zapier, it's going to be interpreted as a string. So the first thing that we'll do is split it and transform it as a list to get rid of the commas and actually start separating each value within the comma separating string that we got from our trigger step. So here we got email, job title, country, phone, LinkedIn URL. And in our case, see, the data is coming following this structure in this order: email, job title, country, phone number, LinkedIn URL. So we're going to, in every case, take here input data, answer data. I think I made another video on how to reference input data. So that's how it's going to look like. Dot split on comma. That's what transforms the string here into a list. And then here, what's highlighted right now just represents the same big data that we have imported, but as a list. So now we want to select only the first element of the list, which is going to be the email, which is why we add the 0 index right here. And we're going to repeat this logic starting by the end for the LinkedIn URL, -1, which means the last item of the list. Phone is going to be -2, the next two last item of the list, and country -3. And this is done to isolate the job title because in our case, it's the potentially problematic item because it could contain commas. So since we have all the rest and we know that the job title is going to be in the second position of the list, we're just going to apply here input data split, the same formula. And we're going to make it catch anything from the index 1 to index -3, which means anything after the email and before country. So in this case, it's going to be, I don't remember what I put in the example. I think it was co-founder and CEO. So that's the two values that are going to be interpreted here as between the index 1 and index here -3 of the list. So that's the logic behind it. And because we still want the job title to be returned as one field, even if it has commas, we then will apply the join method to whatever this splitting got us to put back together the different job titles. So that's what it looks like. And then we return the fields one by one: email, job title, country, phone, and LinkedIn URL. If I click continue and retest the step, this is what we get: 5 clean, separated, usable data items. And the job title, even though it has a comma in it, will still appear as one unique field. And then if you want to apply it to any later step, here you would just be able to select each one of these individually, which means we have successfully split our comma-separated string. I repeat again, it's much easier if the trigger gives you the data in the correct format, or if you have it as line items that Zapier can correctly interpret, or if you even have a raw JSON input data, you can parse it correctly using Python or JavaScript in a code step. But that's how you would try to handle more specific cases using code. Thank you.